Hey guys, today's profile review is of a Season 12 Plat jungler who is looking to get to Diamond in Season 13 and they're struggling. Like a lot of you, you've probably not done too well in your placements. You might even be at a negative win rate like we can see here of 42%. What I'm going to outline in the next 10 minutes is what Gold and Platinum junglers need to do in order to climb to Diamond. The big two things are committing to a champion pool, using the big three things. 2, ranked account strategy, and 3, making sure your early game is watertight in terms of your jungle pathing, your recall timers, your ganking, and how many times you're dying. Before we get into the profile review, however, if you're interested in getting your own profile reviewed for free, please check out the link in the YouTube description below, as well as if you're interested in learning more about the paid coaching solution I talk about towards the end of this profile review, please also check out the links to book your free one-on-one call with me over Discord. Let's get into the profile review. Hey Abraham, my name is Dylan from lolcoach.academy and I'll be doing the profile review of your account today. So thank you for signing up and let's get into it. Currently, you are Gold 3 with 41 LP. Last season you finished Plat 4 and your goal for Season 13 is Diamond. So in the next 10 minutes or so, I'm basically going to be telling you the biggest focus area and how to fix it. Like basically that all junglers are struggling with in Gold and Platinum, and basically what all junglers are struggling with in order to get to Diamond, which is going into that top 2% of players. So the next 10 minutes is going to be super valuable for you as well as anyone who is a jungler looking to climb. So the first thing I look at when I look at a profile review is I want to see a consistent champion pool in one role. And obviously I can see here that you've got your Diana and your Zac and you're sticking to them. Now, in terms of the question, because this is probably what you're asking yourself when you see win rates like 57%, 33% on Zac, and in your last, most recent 9 games on Diana, we can see a 44% win rate are these two champions. Can I climb with these two champions? And more specifically, can I climb to Diamond with these two champions? So the short answer is yes, but it depends. Now, what does it depend on? It doesn't depend on the meta. It doesn't depend on the strength of the champion. It depends on 2 things that you have control over. 1, do you have fun on the champions? And 2, are you good at the champions? Now, both of those we can change, we can improve, but the biggest thing to figure out right now is foundationally, do you have fun on these champions? I would suggest yes, because you played them last season and you're playing them this season, which makes me think, okay, you've found champions that you enjoy. And that is the number one thing that is really important for junglers who are looking to climb, particularly for junglers who are looking to climb to Diamond. They've basically got to marry 1 or 2 junglers and stick with them throughout that entire ranked journey. So it's really good to see that you've done that. The second thing is to go, are you good at them? And when I mean good, I want to see a win rate of around 55% in your current rank or, around your current rank. So for this season, you've only got 7 and 3 games played. So I don't really want to take into account that. And to be honest, you shouldn't really be worried yet about this win rate over this many games, because it's just too much. It's too small of a game pool size for you to make really any concrete decisions on whether you're doing the right strategy or not. So I want to go to your previous season, and what I can see here is your Zac has a 57% win rate, and you didn't play much Diana ever. So we go back to that original question of, are you good on the champion? So I think your Zac, you're definitely good on him. And the interesting thing is Zac is probably at his strongest point. He's actually stronger in the current meta than he was last season. So the fact that you had a 57% win rate on him last season when he was technically weaker, and now in one of his most strongest patches, one of his most strongest metas, Zac is, really playable at the moment. I think you're going to do well over the long run. So I think for the first question of, are you having fun and are you good at the champions? I think yes, in short, you are good on them. And I can see in your recent games, and again, we don't want to look too closely into this, but I can see a lot of potential on Diana, which is really good. So if I was you and I was really worried about this account, and you're like, oh shit, I'm at a 42% win rate, my confidence isn't very high. what it suggests is implementing the 2 ranked account strategy. And basically what this is it's a really easy way for gold, platinum players to climb to diamond for the first time. You have 1 account for climbing and you have 1 account for learning and basically doing everything else. So in your instance, what I would recommend and what I would do personally if I was trying to climb this account to diamond, or I was trying to get to diamond for the first time, or I was coaching someone on how to get to diamond for the first time, would be to split up your games onto these 2 accounts. And for you specifically, for a jungler who is struggling currently, at a negative win rate, any win rate really below 55%, this is what I do. I would get my second account, and for the next 20 to 40 games, I would spam either Zach or Diana. Now, if you get bored, you could do both, but the idea here is to just get volume of games played in the current meta to develop a sense of comfortability, to get back your confidence, and to generate a bit of champion mastery for Season 13. And the idea here isn't to focus on really how much you're winning or anything like that. The real focus here is just to get your confidence back, make sure you're doing the fundamentals correct, and just make sure that, your Diana and Zach, they're feeling good to play. You're still having fun on them. And then what I do at the end of the 20 to 40 games, at least 20 on each champion, is I would look at my win rate on that account and I would go, is my win rate on Diana greater than 55%? Is my win rate on Zach greater than 55%? And if the answer is yes to both of these or yes to one of them, what I then do is go, okay, that champion is good enough to bring to my main and I can continue my journey to diamond again. However, that is what I'd recommend. So I would really recommend maybe stop playing on this account until you've got your mojo back, until you've got your confidence back by playing that high volume of games on Diana and Zach. Get that win rate up, get that confidence up, and then jump back onto your main. Now, after that, basically the biggest thing you need to focus on, and the biggest thing gold and platinum junglers need to focus on, is their early game, specifically laning phase, specifically the first 15 minutes of the game. So going over to Mobalytics, I can see that your average goal difference at 15 right now for the new season is negative 900. What this basically suggests to me is that you're losing early game. You're losing laning phase, and you shouldn't be, because Diana and Zach can both quite consistently come out ahead in laning phase. So what this means basically is you as an individual have a problem with your current champion pool in your early game. Yes, you could argue Zach isn't the strongest early game, but Diana is a pretty decent early game champion. So we need to fix this. This is the biggest thing that's holding you back right now from climbing. So we need to develop a strategy to improve this. Now, the biggest thing the gold junglers, platinum junglers are struggling with in the first 15 minutes of the game is jungle clear speed and the path they're taking, how many times they're dying, how many times they're ganking. They're the big 3 things. And the fourth one is choosing which lane you should gank first. So basically where you start. Now, a lot of junglers will always start bot side because they get the 2-person leash. However, in some games, and probably what you're noticing is, right now, bot lane is basically one of the most influential lanes in the game. One, because there's 2 out of 5 players in the team there, so when you gank, there's literally 50% of the entire game down bot lane. So when you think about it, it's a 2v2 in bot lane, right? And then when the jungler comes, it all of a sudden becomes a 3v2. And if the enemy jungler comes, it's a 3v3. So if you can win moments like that, you're influencing about 50% of the map or 50% of the game. Because if you get your bot lane ahead, you'll get your support ahead, which can create a trickle and a domino effect. And right now, bot lane is just the meta. 1, because AD carries just got a really big buff. And 2, because supports. The meta right now is roaming, helping junglers out, and ganking mid lane and top lane. So if you can get your bot lane ahead, this is probably one of the biggest things I recommend for your jungle change, is starting to look at, can you start topside? Zach, all you need really, and Diana as well, all you need is about 3 auto attacks from your top laner for a leash, and you can just smite the blue buff or red buff, depending which side you start, or you just smite your Gromp for your second clear, and you can do it pretty quickly. You do your whole topside quadrant, then you go down, do your red or blue buff, again, depending on which lane you're, and then you gank bot lane. And this should really set you up for success for that early game. That should then create a basic jungle pattern for the next 15 minutes of the game where you keep going top to bot, because as your jungle camps respawn, you keep going, you go top, clear bot, gank bot. Clear top, clear bot, gank bot. And then with that pattern, you can obviously also go top lane. You can also go mid lane. You can also even invade the jungler. But the idea here is to really focus on the bot lane. Cool. So, Abraham, overall, mate, those are the biggest things I can recommend for you to climb to diamond. And honestly, if you can fix those two things, you can get to diamond. The hardest part about this is once you know what to do, it's actually committing to it. Executing this is actually easy, and like actually doing it in game is very simple and straightforward. The biggest problem, I've done hundreds, well actually probably thousands of profile reviews, and I've coached hundreds of gold players and plat players to diamond. And the biggest thing I see them struggle with is consistency and commitment to a strategy. This strategy works. When people implement it, when gold players and when platinum players implement it, I can climb them to diamond. When they don't implement it, they coin flip. They basically make it impossible for them to climb, and they end up staying in the same rank, doing the same things and expecting different results. So the biggest question you need to ask yourself right now is, are you willing to focus and do those two things that I've talked about? Fixing your champion pool by using your second account, and focusing on your laning phase by changing your jungle pathing. If you can do those two things, Abraham, I think you've got a really good shot at getting to platinum or diamond this season. Now, I did see that you indicated you are interested in paid coaching, and basically what paid coaching can do for someone like you who's wanting to climb to diamond but is struggling right now, finished plat 4 last season, but want to make that leap from top 7% to top 2%, is I would recommend monthly coaching. And basically what I have is a personalized coaching service. It's called a monthly ranked climbing plan, but think of it kind of like a personal trainer for the gym, except it's for League of Legends. And basically what we're doing is we're breaking down every hurdle that's holding you back from going from plat 4, or gold 3 as you currently are, to diamond. And the idea here is not to make you a gold, transform you from a gold player to a diamond player overnight. No, it's to transform you from a gold 3 player to a gold 2 player, to a gold 1 player, to a plat 4, to a plat 3. And each month we're breaking down the biggest problem of your current gameplay that is holding you back. And because I've done this so many times, I always know the biggest problem that is holding a player back just by simply reviewing their game and looking at their stats. So if you're interested in learning more about that, please, once you've watched this, reach out to me. We can have a free one-on-one live chat over Discord. I can show you exactly what the coaching plan would look like. And if you're interested, we can go from there about booking your first game review. Overall, Abraham, you've got a lot of potential here. Do not give up on your Diana and Zach. They are going to be the keys to climbing to diamond. You've just got to make that almost marriageable commitment to them and just, keep the mental fortitude and the mentality at a really high standard so you don't get tilted, so you don't give up on yourself and you don't lose faith in your champion pool. Please, once you've watched this, reach out to me. And as always, cheers, good luck on the Rift, and I hope you enjoyed this review.